Hello and welcome to another video. I've been continuing my journey through the Dragon Ball series, which has been going on for the better part of probably a year and a half to 2 years now at this point, and I've been thoroughly enjoying the experience so far. I just in the recent weeks wrapped up watching Dragon Ball Super, and as I've previously mentioned in my Dragon Ball videos when I reviewed the original Dragon Ball series, Dragon Ball Z Kai, I'm also going to be reviewing Dragon Ball Super here in this one. So there's a lot to talk about, so let's get ready. Let's jump in. So if you have not seen my previous reviews on the previous series in the Dragon Ball franchise, I really enjoyed the first Dragon Ball series, especially in the latter part of the series as we kind of built up towards the final tournament arc with Piccolo and stuff like that, and then kind of led into what would be the stepping off point into Dragon Ball Z or Dragon Ball Z Kai, depending on who you are and what you watch. I ended up watching Dragon Ball Z Kai next, thoroughly enjoyed it, some of my favorite anime storytelling that I've seen so far in my journey through getting into anime over the past several years, so I was really excited to be jumping into a modern series in the world of Dragon Ball with Super. So kicking things off, I'm going to be going through a little bit of the sagas, just jumping on the highlights of kind of what I thought. I do have my notes here, so bear with me. But we kicked off with the God of Destruction Beerus saga. So Beerus and Whis were some newly introduced characters at the beginning of this show, and I thought that they were a really fun addition to the regular cast. They added a new and interesting dynamic, especially exploring the world of the gods and adding something like that to the world of Dragon Ball so far was really cool. And then we also get to see Goku learning the Super Saiyan God form, which eventually they translate into Super Saiyan Blue, which I thought was great. I love seeing them explore and delve into that form in various different ways throughout the show. I thought that was really cool, especially with the training that they end up doing with Beerus and Whis' character throughout. I thought that was really cool. After that, we went into the Golden Frieza saga. This was cool. I thought it was, initially you might think is a little bit of pandering to the audience because everyone loves Frieza as a villain. So bringing him back, it was obviously a bit of fan service, but at the same time, they did a good job with it. We get to see Vegeta reach Super Saiyan Blue and fight against Golden Frieza. We get a training arc here as well, which I thought was cool to see. And then, like I said, it's neat to see Frieza back after so long. And then even with the ultimate fight that we get, Frieza ends up blowing up the world, and we get to see Frieza Whis' ability to turn back time in some kind of ways that will be utilized a couple of times throughout the show. So, like I said, it wasn't my favorite story arc, but it was cool to see Frieza back, cool to see Vegeta hit Super Saiyan Blue. I always enjoy a bit of a training arc to see Goku and Vegeta just working to get better and better. That's always entertaining in itself. And then after that, we move into the Universe 6 saga, so we kind of get to go a little bit multiverse in this one with the different universes that exist in the world of Dragon Ball. So we get to meet Champa, which is Beerus's brother. The camaraderie, not even camaraderie, the arguments and disagreements and fighting and all that between them, it's funny, it's entertaining. I thought it was cool. And then it is fun to see the return of a tournament arc. I came to really enjoy the tournament arcs in the original Dragon Ball series and in Dragon Ball Z Kai. So it was cool to see another tournament arc in this one, especially now that many of the characters have really stepped up their game with the power levels, and then even getting to see them go toe-to-toe with different universes and characters from that was really cool. Really opened up the doors to the potential of the series to really expand into these different realms and stuff like that too, even beyond what we had seen before. With that, we get some interesting new characters. Most notable for me was probably Hit, Frost, and Kaba. I really liked their characters. And then after that, we kind of go into a mostly miniature kind of filler arc. It's not the best. It's the Copy Vegeta saga. It has its moments. It's got some humorous elements to it here and there. Overall, probably my least favorite saga in the series, but I don't mind a little bit of filler here and there for what it is. But then we led into the Future Trunks saga, which was arguably my favorite arc in Dragon Ball Super. We get to see the return of Trunks, who was one of my favorite characters in Dragon Ball Z Kai. So it was great to see him come back again and get to see not only just his character return, but his character return for legitimately good reasons, and then put a really good story along with his return. We get to see Goku Black and Zamasu as villains, which was really cool. That was something really unique and interesting in the world of Dragon Ball that we hadn't seen up until that point. We also get to see Super Saiyan Rose from Goku Black, which is really cool. So just getting to see like Goku be face to face with an enemy who's essentially a copy of himself and is on his level, and if not even stronger at times. So I really enjoyed that arc. Like I said, that was probably one of my favorite arcs throughout the series. And then finally we move into the Universe Survival Saga, which was possibly the best tournament arc we've seen in Dragon Ball so far. I loved some of the tournaments back in Dragon Ball Z Kai, but I really enjoyed the one we got here in Super as well. We get to the return of some of the characters from the last tournament when Champa and Beerus kind of had their tournament. And then we get the addition of some new characters. So Jiren, fantastic, really interesting, really cool character. Top is another one, and Caulifla was a really cool character, and even Dispo was kind of a really fun one too. So those are some of my favorite characters that we got to see pop up in that final tournament arc there. Besides that, we also finally got to see Ultra Instinct, the new really unique and interesting kind of god ability that Goku obtains, and just getting to see where he starts even just as far back as the beginning of Dragon Ball Super and progresses with Ultra Instinct in the end. It's fantastic just to see that kind of progression and growth, and it's just really inspiring his motivation to just continually be improving and bettering himself. That's been one of my favorite ongoing themes throughout this series, is just the necessity to constantly push yourself, constantly grow and develop your abilities, your skills, your talents. I think that's a really admirable quality from Goku, and probably one of my favorites. Besides some of the stuff we got to see with Goku that I've already kind of touched on, Vegeta continues to be one of my favorite characters in this show. He's right up there with Goku. I think in many ways he's a more compelling character than Goku in certain elements, and we get to see a lot of that in Dragon Ball Super. Gohan, I have mixed feelings on in Super. I understand. I'm mixed because I get the fact that, you saved the world in Dragon Ball Z Kai. You kind of want to retire, settle down, have a family now, live a normal life. I get that, and I appreciate that. But at the same time, there's so many things going on in this world that, like, Gohan, the world needs you kind of thing. So I was kind of torn on his character throughout. Like, it's nice to see him having a family and stuff, but at the same time, it's like, Gohan, get over yourself. Like, the world needs you kind of thing. He needs a hero again. So it was cool to get to see him finally back in action towards the end of Dragon Ball Super. That was really cool, especially with the dynamic and the relationship that he and Piccolo have developed up until this point as kind of a pseudo father. I really enjoy their relationship. And then besides that, Beerus. I thought we got to have a cool arc with Beerus throughout. He kind of learns a lot. He starts off as this very kind of two-dimensional type character and becomes a very much more in-depth and complicated character throughout the show, which is really cool, especially considering, he's part of the main cast now, but he's still not a main character. But I really enjoyed what they did with him. Touching really quickly before I wrap up on the animation and the action, I loved the whole kind of taking Dragon Ball into the modern setting. Obviously, this series is about 10 years old now, but it's still a very modern anime series. The animation was absolutely incredible. I think Dragon Ball Super is the most expensive per episode anime series ever produced. It's like something like $250,000 per episode is spent just producing that episode. So incredible animation throughout, truly showcases some of the best animation I've seen in an anime series, especially in the fight sequences and the epic battles that we get to see throughout, especially like the battle royale that we get in that final tournament arc there. So absolutely really great series. I think I'm still partial to Dragon Ball Z Kai. I just love the stuff with the Cell Saga, particularly, especially with Gohan's character in that one. I think that's just like peak Dragon Ball right there. And even some of the Frieza stuff was really great too. And like I said, I loved a lot of Dragon Ball Super, and some of the moments and scenes and arcs of Super were some of my favorite probably in the franchise. But overall, I'm still a little partial to Z Kai. I'm really excited to keep going and delving into Super Broly and then Super Hero, the movies that kind of follow this one up. And then once the dub starts coming out for Dragon Ball Daima, I'm going to be jumping into that series as well. So those are my thoughts on Dragon Ball Super. Like I said, it's been a fantastic, really fun journey throughout the past year or two getting into Dragon Ball for the first time. Let me know whether you're a lifetime fan or a newer fan like myself, what you think of Dragon Ball Super, your thoughts and review on the series. Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you for sticking around to the end. I will see you in the next one.